Okay, so here we're looking for a really old birth date.
How old?
Really old. Like 1700s.
Well,
It's a little sketchy walking. I'm going to walk a little bit, but watch out. There's
as old I can see. Snake?
Is that a snake? Are you serious?
Huh?
Huh? Snake?
Something took off through here real fast.
Just now?
Yeah. Like I got startled.
Yeah, I will do that.
1700, Sally?
Yes. I used to have stones on the top of it. Woo! I don't know about this place. A little snaky. No, but I'm imagining one.
Yep, I will be walking through there.
Okay, so Mark thinks he just saw a snake slinking through here. So we're not going to go too far. This grave is an older site here in Senoia. Yeah,
Might take those rocks off them.
I believe it's right here, honey. Can you see this one?
I can't see. Yeah. I need to clean these.
Snakes, 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 go away. Snakes, 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 go away. What was that?
Snake.
Yeah, watch out for ants too.
Yeah, there's a bunch of red anthills in here.
I think this is it.
Some of these are so old you can't even read them.
All right, this is Francis Price. He was 3 times separated from Anne Boleyn.
Really?
Related to Anne Boleyn.
What, Henry VIII, right?
Right. Remember Anne Boleyn? Lost her head. It's too snaky for us.
Well, I've definitely seen something.
You saw something going through the grass, huh?
Fast, real fast.
Fast through the grass.
Back like it was when we lived in Florida.
Well, this is a cool old cemetery.
It'd be even cooler if they would take care of it.
Yeah.
At least run the mower over it.
Coming up, it's kind of a cool thing here. Old railroad crossing.
Nature is taking it over.
Nature has taken over. Kudzu has taken over those tracks. We've been here before. We've showed this a few times, the bridge. But we're out here with Marie and Jim because they get creeped out on this bridge.
Oh, yeah.
Heavy feeling.
Heavy feeling on the bridge. Lots of stuff has happened. Ooh,
4 o'clock.
love to hear those chimes.
What time is it? 4 o'clock.
Mark just looked at me. It's beer 30, so this will probably be about our last stop here. Get him home. Everybody's exhausted. All these old people, we do too much during the week. We get ourselves all worn out. I don't know why we do that to ourselves, but we do.
I don't have a choice. What did we do this while we were young?
So this is the spot on the bridge that I'll show you. We have one frame where this all turned green. And an interesting thing too is back in the ghost tour days here, this light used to flash off and on. That was always kind of weird.
Did it really?
Yeah, it would. Just randomly go off and on. And Jim was right about the overgrown tracks where Buddy met his demise.
This is the worst it's looked in years.
Yeah, it's super overgrown now, isn't it?
Yeah. How you doing?
You're not filming on it anymore.
That's probably why.
So the two Sues and our baby.
I really don't like this bridge.
No, well, you know, it is listed as the hanging grounds of Senoia. And it is said that the hangings took place not far from here, but the very last hanging that ever happened here, the accused broke loose and put the noose around the assassin, the lynchman, the executioner, if you will, and hung him. And that was the last execution that ever took place at the hanging grounds of Senoia.
What year was that?
It was late 1800s, right after the town, maybe 1890s probably. And our one little shadow figure here, to me, I hate to say it, but it looks like a Klansman to me. And that's what other people have said. It's a dark part of our history, for sure, very bleak, but it's history just the same. We have to learn from it. You know, not too long ago, we were at that cemetery where we found out that the guy was a slave owner. And you can say what you will, but in those days, like I said, white men had this idea that they were better than everybody else, so they were circumnavigating the globe, taking over any land they could from anybody who was already there, including the Native American Indians. They ran them all out. They believed that white European men were better than anybody else. That's just what they thought, and they were trying to be profitable. And what they found in the South, in this part of Georgia, was cotton was the way to make a profit. And they needed laborers to pick the cotton. And this is before the cotton gin or the, slavery was abolished, and this was the way of producing cotton. So that's the Conjuring House. Fried Green Tomatoes house. It was white for that movie. They changed it to this color for The Conjuring 3. That was right at the beginning of the pandemic. But that was filmed, gosh, I think somebody figured it out one time for me and said 75% of the movie was filmed here.
Car show?
Yeah.
Car.
Over there, on the side of the house, you can see the opening, and that is where the psychic in the movie went under and got the haunted totem thing.
Yeah, Vera Farmiga. She would have crawled in that crawl space.
Crawled right in there.
I wouldn't have. Did it too many times in my grandmother's house in Flagtown.
Hey,
Oh, I tell you.
you're getting paid what she's getting paid. You're crawling.
You're crawling
in
under anywhere, yeah.
You're crawling in there.
So, we told you about the two Sues and the Our Baby story. But there's another story here about the two Sues. Do y'all know it?
No.
So, Sue was the younger and Susie was the older. When Susie got older, Sue started caring for her mother-in-law. And Susie spent most of her day in this upper corner bedroom.
Okay.
And they had servant to help take care of her during the day, but on the weekends Sue would send this girl home and let her be with her family. Well, one evening Susie called out to Sue, "Sue dear, I need to use the pot." She needed to go to the restroom. And of course it would have been a bedpan and a pot, and most likely an actual pot back in those days, probably a chamber pot. And so Sue dutifully came upstairs, and when she walked in the room, her mother-in-law Susie said, "No, not yet. not in front of all these people. And Sue was like, okay, it's just me, but all right. And thinking her mother-in-law was maybe losing it a little bit, she went to that bedroom window in the corner, and it was fall. And she told her mother, oh, Sue, look at the beautiful golden leaves out the window, to distract her. And at that point, the blinds in the window ruffled. She said, and had written this in her diary, Sue McDaniel did, it was like birds were going through blinds.
What house are we going to?
We're going to go up to Veranda Inn.
Okay.
I just want to picture that house. We think that was one of the first funeral homes.
It's a beautiful house.
Because this the front of the historic Veranda Inn, and we'll take a right here. The Veranda Inn, a really cool place to stay if you ever get a chance.
Let's walk out for whales. Yeah, isn't there a story about the well back here?
So this is the Veranda Inn. It was built as a hotel. William Jennings Bryan stayed here when he was running for president. Margaret Mitchell stayed here and wrote part of Gone with the Wind here.
Yes, ma'am.
And in this backyard area, boy, it's really been cleaned out. Cool barn. But right in this area, this was, now imagine all farmland. And over here, young Marion found a well, and he drank some water from this well. Oh, they got a whole chicken out here now too. But if you check, on top here, you can see the chicken footprints and an angel statue and a chicken. That's because Marion didn't know that a chicken had fallen in the well and tainted the water, and he died at 3 years old. This is the actual obituary of young Marion Holberg. Now, when we talk about Marion Holberg, we're going to talk about the fact that later, I did a little tour there on a Friday the 13th, like we're going to do in October. It was August. And I don't like Friday the 13th. I have freaking triskaidekaphobia. I hate to admit it, but I do. We had some meters running, and someone's meter said chicken, drop, and August. Not in this house, because it wasn't built. And he drank from the water. Well, then years later, I was out here on a ghost tour, walking in the ivy that you see here with tour guests. Didn't think anything of it. A week later, found out that the owner here fell into the well that's there now where the stones are. Didn't know the well was there till he fell about 12, 13 feet, got caught on the walls of the well, luckily, or he'd have fallen about 30 or 40 feet, likely to his death. Had his cell phone, still was in service, called his wife, she dropped a ladder down and